Okay, guys, so this is probably one of the biggest discoveries ever made in Australia. I'm going to claim and prove that the Phoenicians and the mound builders, seafarers, were here in Australia, and that the governments in England and Spain and Portugal, way back in the probably 16th, 17th century or earlier, knew what was here. So when I looked at Canberra and the Parliament House building, which is quite new. It was built, I think, in the 80s or 90s, and it's brand new, really. So the pyramid on top of the Parliament House building, I drew a line straight from the Parliament House pyramid apex all the way to Montague Island Lighthouse, and I just wanted to see if it, might pass through nearby even this mountain right here. They call Womban or Hanging Mountain. As you can see, it's quite noticeable. So from the river, which is not far, and you'll see that in a minute, you can see this clearly from the Maria River, sort of almost more spectacular than anywhere else. So what I'm claiming is that the rural engineers and the builders of public works projects, they knew about this mountain here, and they also knew about a couple of giant granite boulders not far away, and that they all lined up with each other in a straight line out to Montague Island. So when you continue that line from Montague Island all the way through to Parliament House and the apex of the pyramid there, that line happens to cross straight through this mountain and straight through these two giant, alone, anomalous granite boulders, 10 metres high and 20-something metres in circumference. They're enormous. So this straight line was used, and I'm going to show that it was used, or it's this giant coincidence once again. So from the island all the way through the Pyramid Mountain and the boulders, all the way to the apex of the pyramid in Parliament House, Canberra, the Australian capital, it is perfectly aligned. The line crosses straight over this mountain. So that's quite amazing. Now, the distance between the Parliament House pyramid apex and the island of Montague Island is 144,000 metres. Now, if one was to venerate the mound builders of the old world, then using these three sites to line up the apex of your pyramid at the Parliament building might be a good way to do it. So as you can see, the line from Montague to Parliament House has clearly been used as it passes through this mountain, through the giant granite boulders, in a perfect straight line. Now lastly, how do I know that the Portuguese were here? Well, we know the Portuguese were in Australia before Cook. Now the actual town that I live in is called Congo, C-O-N-G-O, like Africa. And I looked into that over a year ago quite deeply, and it's a Portuguese name, and it was named Congo with a K in Africa. And it was spelt with a K in Africa long ago, and it was changed to a C. But it was Portuguese run and owned back then, and it was named by them, Congo. So, Tau Ross or Churros, which is, 5 minutes from Congo, and Moria, Meru, the Black Mountain. Now, Moria is said to also translate it into resting place of the Black Swan. Let me say that again. The resting place of the Black Swan. Now, we've all seen a Phoenician ship, and they look quite strikingly like a giant black swan. The Gosford glyphs is also another example of how the glyphs say a storm south. Well, this is south of the Gosford glyphs, just down the coast, 4 or 5 hours. So if there was a storm and they were capsized, as they say in the glyphs, and there was a burial and it was kept secret and give this place blessings, could it be that maybe they capsized and buried it right there? Either there, a few people died, and they were important people. Did they bury him here? And these stones were used to help line up this whole thing. And then thousands of years later, we come back, we find these things, and we set up Canberra directly in line with these things. And directly to the apex of the pyramid in the middle of Parliament House that goes directly through Moruya, and the Moruya Black Mountain of the Black Swan made out of basalt. It is a basaltic outcrop, they call it on the 1895 surveying map. Basaltic outcrop, 722 metre perfect pyramid basaltic outcrop. Very understated. So lastly, 3 different sites, the island, the stones and the mountain in Moruya, all 3 using that line up with the pyramid apex in Canberra, Parliament House. 144,000 metres. Just so if you didn't quite get it, here's the line from the island straight over that mountain, and I'm talking direct hit all the way to Canberra. And as you can see, just in front of the island, as you get onto the land, that's where the big granite stones are. So it runs from the island through the stones directly over the mountain straight to Parliament House.